All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It has been a minute. You know what? I apologize because I've been making some content and I just haven't gotten around to editing and uploading it for you guys. But I figured this one would be perfect since I'm running into an actual problem. I'm not doing like a DIY, like mod or something like that. This is something that, from what I've been reading, is a pretty common problem with Acuras and Hondas, and it's related to the HVAC system. So AC in my car doesn't work, first of all. The AC compressor is gone. I already know the condenser. I can see it's all dinged up. Like, it hasn't worked all summer. I survived the summer, but I live in Canada and it is about to get cold as shit here. So I was like, okay, you know what? At least I have the heat. Problem is, the heat is only blowing on the passenger side. So through this vent and that vent. This side and this side was blowing cold air. So I was like, okay, here we go with another problem. I did a ton of research. I was reading all kinds of things. Some people were saying check the fuse. There's a 40 amp fuse in the fuse box under the hood that's just related to the HVAC system in general. But I'm like, okay, it's still blowing. So I don't know if that's even possible without that fuse functioning. So whatever, I put that to the side. Some people were saying to flush the heater core. One thing that I read a lot that I wasn't sure of was the blend door actuator. So in these cars, because they have a dual temperature control, there's just like a little module that regulates a gear and like two little, like a switch almost, that pivots. And that controls the opening and closing of the blend door, which pulls in the air from outside, blends it with, you know, the running air over the heater core, and it's circulating into the car. So because this car has a dual temperature, the passenger side has an actuator and this side has an actuator. So anyway, I turned it on earlier just before I figured out the problem. And what I did was, I'm going to try not to keep that too high so that it's not too loud for you guys. What I did was I crawled under the driver's side here, and hopefully you guys can see this because it's a lot easier to see when you take this panel out. Okay, so here's a better angle for you guys. You can see that this little black piece has a little track here. This white piece moves. So this is the blend door actuator. It's attached to this. In order to actually replace it, you'll need to take this off because you won't be able to get the bracket off in order to take this thing out. Anyway, what I did was I cycled through the HVAC function, so blowing above, blowing below, the dual function on and off, to see if this thing moved. Didn't move at all. So that gave me a strong indicator that this doesn't work because it's supposed to move. It has a plastic gear and it has a very slow adjustment. Anyway, what I did was I just manually moved this with my finger by hand, and it started blowing heat on the driver's side. So that tells me anyway that blend door actuator is toast. And now I'm just avoiding changing any of the functions here. I just have it blowing hot air at the top, and it's blowing super hot. It was also blowing very, very weak on the side that was blowing hot. So anyway, I don't want to run this video on unnecessarily, because the point I'm trying to make is the first thing I would check is that blend door actuator. When I actually get around to changing it, I will make another video for you guys so you can follow along if you run into the same problem and you need to do it. From what I've watched and what I've seen, it's a pretty simple thing to replace. There's a couple screws, you pop the bracket off, and then there's a plastic clip because it is run electronically. So anyway, if you are running into a similar problem where you have, from what I've read as well, this could be related to the AC as well, just any irregularities in the temperature not blowing or being controlled the same on the passenger and the driver's side, there's a good chance that it's a blend door actuator. And the first thing that I would do to diagnose it is to physically watch it. If you can't reach these controls, it is a little bit awkward. If you can't see underneath the dash and reach the controls to press it and see if the actuator moves, just have somebody sit in the car and press it for you, and you can just keep an eye on it. You just need to cycle through a few things and you'll have an idea on whether that's functioning correctly. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you guys. Till next time, until I get around to doing that DIY video for you, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be posting a lot more content for you guys before it gets too cold.